Hello everybody, Kyle here. I am going to review George Miller's Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. It's the new entry in the Mad Max universe that released this week. I got to see it last night, and here are my thoughts. So, first off, I will say that I'm a major fan of the Mad Max universe. I like all the movies, but the first one and the only one that I really saw in theaters was Fury Road. And I saw that when it came out in 2015, and it blew me away. I, of course, have watched the other films on television, and it's something that, really stays with you. All those movies are really good in my eyes, even Thunderdome, but nothing quite matches Fury Road to me because the theatrical experience of that movie is unmatched. Now we have Furiosa, which I was very excited for. It stars Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, and what's really interesting about this movie is it tells you the prequel to Fury Road, which is the story of Furiosa herself. And I think what I really love is that the film decides to go for a different approach than Fury Road. It's not a full-blown chase. It's an odyssey, and it tells you the story of Furiosa as both a child, played by the amazing new talent Alia Brown, or Leal Brown, I'm not too sure how to pronounce it, but she is an incredible young actress. And of course you have the great Anya Taylor-Joy, who I think really does the character justice. It feels very much like Charlize's Furiosa, but in, a much younger setting. I also love that we get to see Furiosa's mother, who is mentioned in Fury Road, and she's played by Charlie Fraser. Now, I don't know if anyone here watching this video has seen this film, but she was just recently in Anyone But You with Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney, and she was great in that movie. And I was surprised to see her in this because I didn't know she was in this. And what's funny about her is I think she's a great balance between Anya and Charlize. Like, I can see both of them in her. I can see her, like, giving birth to both of these versions of Furiosa. So I think that she's a great, feminine new icon that they have for the franchise, and she has some really great scenes. I was afraid that she'd only be in it for like 2 minutes, but she's in it for like a good 20 minutes of that opening first act, and it's really great to see the way that George Miller, after so many years making movies, he still is a master at his craft, and he takes his time with this film. Like, the opening, I want to say, the first 30 minutes or so is this chase when Furiosa is taken from her, her home, but it's known as the Green Place, we shall say, and you see it in the trailer, but here it's this really suspenseful, like, whole entire first act sequence of them trying to save Furiosa, and it's kind of silent compared to like Mad Max, because like Fury Road, you have Junkie XL's incredible score beating the entire movie, but here, like, you don't have that same score where it's so bombastic and loud and it feels like a musical event at times. This movie feels way more quiet and way more silent, and there are scenes in this film like when a war rig just drives away from Furiosa and she's just standing on like the road and there's no sound whatsoever and you just hear the silence, and that's just great. I love the way the story itself is kind of about both her mother's hope for the future that Furiosa can bring to the Green Place and to her people, but also it's about Furiosa's rage and her quest for revenge against what happened to her and that she was taken from her family. So it's both, I think, a film that explores, feminine hope and optimism, and then feminine rage, which is really, really important. But also, I think it's, led by some really strong female characters, both in the Furiosa, her mother, and then we have Chris Hemsworth, who is the villain, Warlord Dementis. And while, I mean, it's really hard to top the a power of a Immortan Joe from Fury Road, Warlord Dementis is also a really, cool villain that I think Chris Hemsworth relishes in playing, because we've seen him play different roles, even villainous roles in the past, but here he really chews up the scenery and I think gets to delight in playing this character that is quite different from what we've seen him play before. I think the action is just as, exciting as Fury Road, even though there isn't as much of it in this movie as I think it is in Fury Road. But like, there's this one shot where like this monster truck is chasing a like a V8, and like as you see the monster truck chasing this car, it's this epic moment where it's like, oh, it's gonna hit it, it's gonna hit it, and you're like following that truck, and the camera's like zooming in on it, and it's just so well shot. And I mean, I think it looks beautiful too. There are many shots like of the sand, of the desert, that really capture your interest. And I think the story is also really great. I think that they do a great job at telling you Furiosa's pain and what she wants in her life and how she wants to get there. What's also cool is there's like this fantastical element to the film where it's like the Mad Max universe, it's almost like a fable, the way they tell these stories. Not every movie is consistent with each other, so here this continues that trend, and they even kind of outright say it in the movie, and it's really cool. But yeah, like I think the movie is a absolute fantastic film. I think it's an instant classic already. I think people will be talking about this in years to come. And yeah, definitely, I definitely recommend it. If you haven't seen the Mad Max movies, I recommend you do, but you don't need to watch it because this movie stands alone on its own. So if you want to get into Mad Max, definitely check this movie out too, because it might spark your interest. So let me know what you guys thought. If you love Furiosa, tell me in the comments below, and have a great day, guys. Bye.